hanging with the baby.
Girl, she is getting tall. What?
Who's taller than you?
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Who's tall? Okay, well, that's tall.
Is he?
That's what? 6'2" for a man, that's considered tall.
Judy said leave that door open.
Well, you can leave it, you can close it, but don't lock it.
That's all I'm saying. Or don't push it all the way up there.
Because I'm like, if we got to vacate.
I'm just saying with the camera and stuff.
Right here.
Yeah.
Because then you
Yeah, I know it. Uh-huh. Because I'm like, if we got to get out of here, he said he's fleeing.
don't close it all the way.
Don't close it all the
Just
way.
crack it. There we
Just
go.
crack it. There you go.
Hey. Y'all ready? Let's get this
Just go, because I ain't staying up here all night.
My dope.
We not getting live, right?
Huh?
We ain't live, right?
I don't care if we are. Showing our video. Doesn't say it on there. Doesn't say it on there. Yes, it does.
No, I'm just gonna ask him if he's ready for us to get started. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to our Monday, June 12th, 2023, regular board meeting. First on the agenda is call to order at 6:02. We're going to have roll call. I have Davis,
Here.
Kennard,
Present.
Laster,
Present.
McCarthy.
Present.
Lester is present. Evans. And Piles. Piles is excused. Evans and Piles are excused. We have a quorum. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Next on our agenda is the acceptance of the agenda. Move that the Board of Education accepts the meeting agenda as presented. Is there-
Support.
Motion by Wester, supported by Davis. All in favor?
Aye.
Next on the agenda is staff retirement recognition. We'd like to congratulate Kathleen Patazik, Romulus Middle School paraprofessional. Best wishes from the RCS family, forever and Eagle. Dr. E, did you have anything to say?
I actually do not know her. So I'll make sure that I go over to get to know her before it's too late. But of course, I wish everyone a wonderful retirement, and I respect the time that they've had in this district. Unfortunately, my tenure has not been long enough for me to get to know every staff member, but I certainly am trying as much as I possibly can. So I will certainly deliver well wishes personally, and I also would like the board to know that, listen here, excuse me, I sound like our president, listen here. I'd like us to consider doing something. I came from a different district before, and when people retired, you waited to the end of the year to have a function for them, a nice function where you give them an opportunity to be recognized and bring a spouse or a friend or someone. I think that we should consider that for, if not the end of this year, it's probably difficult now, but definitely next year. We've got to do something as a collective there's synergy when you see others that are retiring as well. It gives me hope that I might be able to retire from Romulus. So I'd like to at least present that at some point where we can have that discussion.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is public comment. The guidelines for public comment, the Board of Education welcomes public audience participation at its meetings. These guidelines are based on the Board of Education bylaws and policies and intended to facilitate the orderly conduct of the public comment portion of our board meetings. District encourages parents, students, and others to resolve issues at the building level whenever possible with teachers or building principals or assistant principals. Issues not resolved at the building level may be addressed to the appropriate central office administrator, and then, if necessary, to the superintendent. The Board of Education discourages parents, students, and others from addressing the Board of Education on issues that have not been processed in this fashion, and will in such cases direct persons addressing the board to the appropriate administrator. Do we have any, I have a few public comments if anyone else would like to turn one in at this time. We have Sarah Carter.
Hello? Okay, here we go. Okay. Good evening, Romulus Board of Education and staff and community members. I'm Sarah Carter, and I am the president of the Romulus Education Association. I am here tonight to personally thank Ms. Wester, Ms. Laster, Ms. McCarthy, and Mr. Davis for voting to accept the REA contract for the 23 to 26 school years. Yes. I am certain that Dr. Edmondson, Dr. Green, and Mr. Brock will agree that the process was very collaborative. We worked hand in hand to make sure that this agreement was financially affordable for the school district and addressed needs for both teachers and administrators regarding contractual language. I believe we accomplished both of those goals. In addition, the monthly problem-solving meetings between the REA and central office have already proven to be effective, and we have dialogue and problem-solve issues before they arise. As you are aware, that was not the case during the time of Dr. Edmondson's absence. We thank all four of you for making it possible to move Romulus schools forward. You are the sole reason why we have been able to make the progress that we have in these past 6 months. We once again thank you for your leadership and dedication to the current and future success of our school district. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Ms. Rita Hampton.
I just want to thank everybody for missing me. Somebody said, I've been coming to these board meetings since March 21st, 2021. I have missed one. So I just want to say that I appreciate it, and it means that maybe I'm saying something and I'm not just saying something. Anyway, I want to tell you, first of all, the recall was denied again, but that's okay. There's always a good part and a bad part. When you're a lawyer, if you ever have to have one, says don't talk and don't say anything. Don't say anything. Keep it to yourself. And I will save that for next week. I'm going to continue to ask, even though two are not here, Ms. Kennard, Ms. Piles, and Ms. Evans resign. I think that Miss Sarah said it all. You can't go, we won't go until the blockers or barriers are in the way. And that told me that, that said that, what can I say? Say it nice, Rita, like your mom said. It was shown at the recall how people will say what they need to say to support their agenda. We haven't had call-ins from board members since December 31st, 2021. The government, the COVID was denied, was recalled, and people could now have to attend the meetings unless you were in military. But one board member must have been, because she said it, but I'll bring it when they're here so I can say it to their face. If you call someone a liar, you want to make sure you say it to their face. So with that, Dr. Ben, you will retire from Romulus. I'll make sure of that. I'll be here and I won't be absent, but I got to take a vacation. South Carolina, and I keep bringing it up, Boca Raton, Florida.
Thank you. We have Caleb Ferentz. Caleb.
Yeah. Okay. Section 5230 of the 2015 through 2016 Staff Handbook states that no employee shall attempt during the school day or on school property to sell or endeavor to influence any student to buy a product, article, instrument, service, or other such item which would benefit said school employee directly or indirectly. My name is Caleb Ferentz, and I'm a class of 2023 graduate. I remember hearing the news that the Meta 24 program was leaving this district, and I felt relief from the stress and discomfort the program has put me through. Some of you up there have actually seen me speak in favor of the program at one of these board meetings for a hot sauce advertisement that me and 5 other students made, not an entire class, sorry. In the city luncheon, sitting and talking to the mayor, and when asked what do I like about the program, I always respond with the freedom. My last week of school, there was a controversy between a Meta teacher and other teachers due to their advertisement of their company. This company dealt with the teaching of stocks, and fortunately, I never showed up to the meetings as I always felt some sort of discomfort in that class. One thing I cannot deny about the program coming to the school was the connections that some teachers made with the students, as I can say that the ones I spoke to always wanted the best for me and some others, even if they knew how sketchy the $1 Million program was. The thing with the connections with the students is that some teachers would get too comfortable and have personal conversations with these students. The constant talking of these conversations, while me and 4 of my colleagues were the only ones in the class doing our assignment, made me uncomfortable. These conversations dealt with topics that should stay out of school, and I was so happy to not have to hear the topics after leaving the class halfway through the year. The main reason why I'm here today is to talk about the side of Meta 24 you haven't heard, from genuine students. There is much more I wish I could talk about, but the time given to me prohibits that. I hope that my talk today helps motivate some students to share their experience from their classes, as no student should feel the same way I felt my senior year. Thank you.
Thank you. Mic drop. Next on our agenda is the consent agenda. Matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine in nature by the Board of Education and will be acted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items. If any member of the board or any citizen requests discussion of an item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will become the first item of business under the report of the superintendent portion. A is approval of the minutes of the Board of Education for May 22nd, regular meeting, May 30th special meeting, June 5th special meeting. And B, approval of bills for payment as submitted by Business Manager Sarah Khan in the amount of $1,724,134.28. Move that the Board of Education approves the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
We have a motion by Wester, supported by McCarthy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We have the approval of the personnel items submitted by Human Resource Director Kevin Brock. Employment of Ashley Klee, REA art teacher at the high school for the 23-24 school year. Adam Denson, Director of Integrated Technology for Romulus Community Schools, effective 6/26 of '23. We have an action item. If someone would like to read the action item.
Madam President. Recommended motion move that the Board of Education approve the employment of Ashley Klee as a full-time high school art teacher for 23 and 24 school year. The rationale is personnel action. The budget implications is general fund, and there are no exhibits. And do you want me to do it separate or do it both?
Do them together.
Okay, the next recommendation, Madam President and Board, is moved that the Board of Education approve the full-time employment of Adam Dennison as the Director of Integrated Technology for Romulus Community Schools for the 23 and 24 school year, effective June 26 of '23. The rationale is personnel action, no budget. The budget implications is general funds, and there are exhibits. See the attachments.
There's support.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Mr. Brock, it looks like we have some other action items here for contracts. Did you want to discuss those, or should we just read those?
I can answer it. I mean, this is really consent agenda, so do them as presented.
Thank you. We have a contract approval for
Marina Coleman.
Marina Coleman.
Madam President and Board, recommended motion, move that the Board of Education approve the contract for Karina Coleman as a partnership coordinator for Romulus Community Schools for the fiscal year 23-24 school year, effective June 13th, 2023. The rationale is a personnel action. The budget implications is ESSER 3 funds, and then the exhibits, there's attached in the board packet.
Is there support?
Support.
Have a motion by Kennard, supported by Davis. Is there any discussion? There's no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We have another action item. Someone would like to read that, please?
Move that the Board of Education approve the contract renewal for MGMI Services LLC for the Romulus Community School District for the 2023-2024 school year. Rationale, personnel action, budget implications, ESSER 3 funds, Exhibit C attached.
Support.
We have a motion by Davis, supported by McCarthy. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next motion. Membership of resolution for MHSAA.
Okay, do you want us to read it, or?
Yep.
Okay.
There should be a motion there.
Recommended motion, move that the Board of Education approve the membership resolution for Romulus High School, Romulus Middle School, and Wick Elementary, 6th grade only schools which are under the direction of the Board of Education governing body. Junior, middle, high, and middle and senior high schools of our school system, which are to be listed as MHSAA members and receive MHSAA mailings during 23 and 24, must be listed on the back of the form that we have in front of us. Romulus, the city, township of Wayne County, of state of Michigan, are hereby, A, enrolled as members of the Michigan High School Athletic Association, Inc., a nonprofit association, and B, are further enrolled to participate in the approved inter-school athletics activities sponsored by said association. The Board of Education governing body hereby delegates to the superintendent or his or her designee the responsibility for the supervision and control of said activities and hereby accepts the Constitution and bylaws of said association and adopts as its own the rules, regulations, and interpretations as minimum standards as published in the current handbook as the governing code under which the said schools shall conduct its program of interscholastic athletics and agree to primary enforcement of said rules, regulations, interpretations, and qualifications. In addition, it is hereby agreed that schools that host or participate in the association meets the tournaments shall follow and enforce all tournament policies, procedures, and schedules. This authorization shall be effective from August 1st of '23 and shall remain effective until July 31 of '24, during which the authorization may not be revoked. The rationale is the personnel action, budget implications, none, and exhibits is in the board packet.
Is there support?
Support.
We have a motion by Kennard, supported by McCarthy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Move that the Board of Education authorize administration to seek bids for food service for the 2023-2024 school year. No rationale, no budget implications, and no exhibits.
Support.
We have a motion by Davis, supported by Kennard. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We are at the report of our superintendent, Dr. Benjamin Edmondson.
Great to see everybody here. We have an action for Cooperative Education Program Agreement, which is an agreement between Wayne Westland and ours. So students that go there, you gotta pay them. No other way to say it. And this is pretty perfunctory. It's something that we go through every year because we send students, and that's the partnership. So I don't know if you want me to read it or I prefer not.
No, can I have someone read the motion, please?
Madam President and Board, recommended motion move that the Board of Education approve attached cooperative agreement between the Wayne Westland Community Schools and Romulus Community Schools. The rationale is agreement required by the state and according to the present accounting procedures and practices. The budget implications, payment for services, amount reflects the state foundation for the 23-24 school year. The exhibit is in the board packet.
Is there support?
Support.
We have a motion by Kennard, supported by McCarthy. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next, we have the band going to Cedar Point end of the year trip. Before we read the motion, I would like to first of all thank Jesse Reyes for doing an outstanding job with our band. And I believe from other volunteers too, Sandy Mills. And of course, my boss, Darcel Davis. But I just wanted to thank you. I did it publicly. I did it publicly before, and I'll do it again. I love that we can, first of all, that you showcase our band. I love that I can come to you and, try to support, listen to your vision, and certainly support what you do. I love the fact that, the band is just, I guess, we kind of expect you to be there. Graduation, what if there was no band at graduation? What would that have looked like? Anytime we get a chance, we need to acknowledge the great things that our band is doing. I hope you appreciate the investment that we've made and the future investments that we will make, the Board of Education, supporting that money that we put ESSER funds to for the band next year. So that would be 4th and 5th grade. So I'm very excited about the direction. I love the leadership, but I tell you, and I warn you, and I'm going to warn you in front of everybody, you can't do everything. Okay, it'll wear you out, and you will not retire from here if you can't continue to keep this pace up. You have to take care of yourself, and you have to start delegating to other people. But again, I thank you, I support you, and I will continue to support you as long as I sit in this seat. And if I don't, I will still continue to support you as a normal citizen. So thank you.
Can someone read the motion, please?
Move that the Board of Education approve Romulus High School Band's end-of-year field trip to Cedar Point, Sandusky, Ohio on June 16, 2023, from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. at no cost to the district. Rationale, end of year for a potential band day field trip to Cedar Point, Sandusky, Ohio. Board of Education needs to approve out-of-state field trips. Budget implications, none. Fundraiser and costs covered by students. Exhibits, see attached.
Support.
We have a motion by Davis, supported by McCarthy. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Have fun. And be safe.
And there is $1,000 to cover the bus. They told them you cover the bus and pay for your tickets and I'll take you. So.
Awesome.
Personally, I've aged out of Cedar Point now, so I'm glad that you all get to go and carry the tradition on. You know, right, I'm like, I totally aged out. What did you say?
I haven't aged out.
Okay.
Just look down.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. I won't. So in front of you, Board, we have the Wayne Risa brochure. Basically, it's the services that they provide to our school district. Take your time looking at that. But, you know, it's a partnership. Truly, it's a partnership. We've been able to depend on Risa for a lot of things. Some things I wish we didn't have to, but we did, and we do. But I'm also trying to wean us off of Wayne Risa, because I think it's time to wean us off of Wayne Risa. Thank you. Next, Summer Enrichment Program. There's a lot of things that I'd like to discuss, and I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. Just really an update. But I thank Dr. Gardner, first off, for today, before I get into anything else, and Ms. Carol Bales, and actually Michael Ellison. We interviewed students today. They were high school seniors and juniors, well, those that have graduated, class of 2023, class of 2024, because we want them to work for us, or with us. I say with. We want them to work with us. Today, what was on display is something that a lot of us don't see, particularly me in this office, is that we have some phenomenal students, and I don't know if we always get a chance to showcase them, but when they're in front of me, or I'm in front of them, it's just a great feeling. I told someone today, a student, that, you know, across the state, sometimes people feel like Romulus can't compete, and that's so not true. We're sending kids to all types of schools, not just universities, but we're also talking about skilled trades. I mean, there's a lot of great things that are happening in this district, and with our new marketing guru over there, Michael Ellison, we are trying as much as possible to highlight these things. But I will say that there was a theme today of the 8 that we interviewed. I would say roughly half were band students, and I was amazed. I was amazed at the poise, confidence, academic achievement. It goes a long way, what I saw. I mean, what I saw was tremendous. And that's not to take away from the other students, because they were good as well, but I just saw the trend, the theme, that our band students are doing some awesome things. Many of them were, a few of them, not all of them, were dual enrolled as well. But it was just great to see, and we need to continue to acknowledge not just the band, but our other students. We have to make certain that we let them know that this is a good school district, because if they don't listen to others, they may not think that, okay? They may not think that. So just wanted to share that. Our summer enrichment program, I'm going to move on. We have a lot going on, but we have 382, I believe. That might have gone up now. It's close to 400 kindergarten through 5th grade students. I had hoped for 480. So yeah, I would be disappointed. I'm not going to be thrilled if we don't meet our numbers, but that's still a good thing. 400 students who are going to have enrichment the entire year. That's how you stop summer loss. That's how you can stop it, when your school district invests in staff and students to continue the school year. So I'm excited. Roughly 130, I think, for middle school, 110 for high school. I shared with Mr. Petty, the high schools, that please do not let anybody come to a board member and ask, can their children walk across a graduation stage or a ceremony, shaking our hand and not having completed their 18 credits? 18, I will continue, this isn't church, so I'm gonna keep going. 18 is the lowest in the state. It's the lowest that you can have is 18. So we have 18. I'm not letting any student walk across that stage, period. That's what summer enrichment is for. You want to get the credits, you move forward. You don't get the credits, you stay behind. And that is where I stand on that, and that's where I will continue to stand. So we have roughly, I think it was roughly almost 700 kids for a summer program. I want to thank our transportation too. But it's going to be a great program. We have it run by Ms. Shara Shipakassi, Megan Maxwell, that's at the elementary level, then Matt Capella and Kathy Balcom at the high school level. And we're actually going to try something new this year, and we're going to have a RBLC summer program. We're waiting to finish that. So we have people who have really stepped up in our district to do great things. So that's our summer enrichment program. We also have a band program for 6th through 12th graders that we have budgeted for ESSER funds, just so that you know. We've done the same thing with an art program. We want to get our kids involved. Our parents need to respond ASAP. ASAP if they want their kids to participate. Those are really enrichment programs, so they are band and music. And our summer enrichment for K through 5 has swimming, band, art, PE, and chess. So we have all 5 of those. Our middle and high school, not so. Okay, so it's kind of like, feels like a family business here, that we have students working with us. We have our staff that are continuing to support our programs. And I would say, again, I have a wonderful administration with whom to work. It's outstanding. I love coming to work every day. So I'm going to cross that out. That's the FYI that is done now. I would be remiss if I didn't, I always want to call him something else. We have Adam Dennison here, and we just approved him as our Director of Technology. And I would certainly, one of the things that I did during his interview, I asked a question that I don't ask. I never have it on the form, but it's a question. And I asked him, what is your vision? And I was sold. Done. He could have gone and said he liked University of Michigan. I still would have hired him. But he didn't. But he does. Okay. But he does. So I'd like Adam, if that's all right for the board, to just get up and just share what his vision is. He doesn't have anything written, but what his vision is, and then you'll maybe understand why we have selected him to replace Roxanne, who has done an outstanding job. So when she comes back, she only has 15 days left. We'll have one more board meeting with her. We want to certainly thank her for her level of service that she has given to this district, not once complained when we asked her to fill in the shoes of other folks. So we'll do that now. I mean, we'll do that in 2 weeks, but now I'd like to at least introduce Adam Dennison briefly.
Thank you, Dr. Edmondson. I'm very excited to be here. Can't wait to bring my my knowledge, my expertise, my passion for technology into this district. I've been with Durand Area Schools for 10 years. 8 of those years I've been head of technology. I can't wait to meet individually with every single staff member and really understand what their technology needs and wants are, and I'm going to do my best to meet those needs.
That's not quite the vision I heard, but I mean, that was uninspiring, but I appreciate that. That was really good, but it was very inspiring what he shared in front of us, but I guess you'll have to see that because it's pretty impromptu. He might not have thought that he was going to
You'll have to
speak.
excuse me, I did get a D- in public speaking. So.
Okay, well, I got an A+.
I can tell.
I'm sorry. But we want to welcome you to the family. We'll give you a shirt, but I love this community, again, for multiple reasons, and I'm certain that you will too. We're looking forward to you being a part of our team. You'll be able to, you're going to have to be able to hold your own when we meet because everybody, you can take some lumps, okay? And there are other times where we're just so thankful and appreciative of one another. Great team, great staff, great students. And now that I said that, I expect our community to deliver on just what I said. So welcome, and we thank you for choosing us.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to skip marketing and branding because that's the most exciting thing that I can offer today, and I haven't even seen it. Kindergarten Festival, outstanding. It was just outstanding. It was it wasn't just Kindergarten Festival, it was like a celebration at all of our elementary schools. Parents there, kids there, everybody laughing, staff there, people volunteering their time, volunteering their services. We put a little bit of money behind it to feed parents and to give kids ice cream and all of that. And again, I thank the board for believing in what we were doing. I want to thank Dr. Gardner for being the champion of that. We worked really hard. When I was here in March, I was extremely disappointed. No, February, I was disappointed with our kindergarten roundup. And I don't want to hurt people's feelings when I say this, but I mean it. We have got to have high expectations for everything that we do. It's not okay to put a poor product forward and then think that things are going to change. They're not going to. So everything that we do will be at the highest level. And if we don't do it right, as Trustee Evans heard me say multiple times, if you can't launch it right, then don't do it. So we took 2 months or 3 months to work on that. We had Mr. Ellison help us with the flyers and things, Dr. Gardner and her team. We worked really hard to relaunch that. I can proudly say that, let me try to do this. Ram-El had, I believe, 18 new families enroll in the kindergarten, pre-enroll, 18. So if we were to just not educate us, I would tell you, I don't want more than 20 in any class of kindergartners. So that's a class already of 1, not including the kids who have already enrolled. Let's now jump to WIC, where we had over 200 parents and students there. We had another 18 new enrollees, pre-enrolling. Moving on to Barth. I was at Barth. Was that 18 too? Okay. Oh, man, what? You gotta be 12 when I'm there. But it was a wonderful, we have 12 new students as well, pre-enrolling. So right there, well, let me do Hale Creek. Hale Creek was a little bit disappointing, but we had 6. I was a little bit disappointed by that, but I also realized that Hale Creek has Brownstown right there, Taylor right there, like they're competing against everybody. And sometimes you get parental fatigue. They're not coming out. They gave you a chance before in March or February, and now they're not there. So that's it might have some impact on us. I don't know. That's always the kindergarten is always the crapshoot. You don't know who's going to come. But I am convinced that we are doing a good work, that people will come back, okay? And not just come back. We need to retain those families who have chosen us. So Kindergarten Festival was great. Again, thank you to everyone that participated. We'll continue it and make it even better next year. Cross that out. 6th grade model. So we have a lot of good things happening with that. And since he's here, I'm going to just have Mr. Niedermeyer just give us a 1-minute synopsis of what's been happening, his numbers, the numbers there, the numbers at the Service Learning Institute. This guy's funny. Okay. You know I got one for you. I'm just waiting.
So yeah, I get to talk about the STEAM Academy. I will always talk about the STEAM Academy. I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be great for our kids, for the community. The staff's excited about it.
Turn it on.
Is that better?
Yeah.
I had teacher voice anyway.
Dude leading our program?
So, everyone's excited about it. And in going to one of the kindergarten festivals, I was able to talk to some parents about it, even convince some parents that were thinking about leaving the district to then filling out applications that night and being enrolled in the STEAM Academy. Right now, we have approximately 80 parents that have submitted applications. We have 27 that have identified the Service Learning Institute as the place where they want their son or daughter. and we have 47 that we have accepted into the STEAM Academy. We have about 4 parents that we have, the committee has not had a chance to meet yet this week, that we'll be making a decision on at that time. So it's going well. Plans to continue mailing out and sending email blasts and phone calls to parents to get more and more into submitting those applications. So that's where we're at.
Thank you. So with those numbers, I'm not that pleased either. But I think a lot of it is about sometimes parents just not going to come. But I already have a plan. We have a plan. You're not just going to come and let your kid go anywhere. That's not how this is going to happen. I said the first day of school, and I need the board to notice because they're going to be calling you. The first day of school, we're going to make them have to sit down and hear the 2 options. You're not just going to, we don't need, I'm going just as direct. We don't need parents like that. I don't need parents like that. Okay, I need parents that are going to be vested in their children's education. They have to be vested in their kids' education, and we still have to hold parents accountable, staff accountable, which includes me too, staff accountable. There's got to be greater accountability than what there has. So we'll be working on that. I want to thank you for your efforts and your team. We are still having 5th grade parents, 5th grade teachers whose parents have not shown up, making phone calls. We have principals making phone calls. We're trying to do everything that we can to make certain that our parents understand the 2 choices that are there. I still think there might be some misinformation that, oh, I just show up. No, that's not how we're doing this. It's not how we're not doing this. So we're working really hard. I want to thank the board for allowing us to make this decision. There's going to be bumps and bruises along the way. But again, as I've said on multiple occasions, the difference between a high-performing school district and a low-performing school district is parental involvement. Okay, we're not there yet. We have some work that we have to do, and I think that we can, as long as we continue to give parents an opportunity, give them a voice, allow them to show up and see what we're doing, and things will start moving in a positive direction, continue to move in a positive direction. So,
One last thing. We will have archery at WIC. I have a teacher that's being trained on Saturday, and we'll be able to order the equipment. So we'll have archery as an after-school program.
this guy, appreciate that. Anything to take you away from the golf course and give me an advantage, I appreciate that. I'm going to be quiet. But I had one. You already know I'm quick-witted. I had one. So a couple last things, and then I'm done. If you notice, we have snacks now for you. So please make sure that you get those snacks. They are generously provided by the school district. So you're not allowed to purchase things and then me be able to just keep them in my office for nobody. That's not how that works. That's public money. So feel free to grab some, enjoy yourself while you're here. Done. The golf outing we are working on that. It's going really well. I'll tell you that I personally had 3 commitments totaling $9,000. And that probably exceeds what we had last year. That's $9,000 already, and I haven't really put anything out. Haven't talked to the committee. I know that they have some people behind them, so it's going to do very well. No doubt in my mind it's going to do very well. And the last thing is, for me, before we get to the good stuff, is the Brats Barbecue and Back to School. I sent out a message yesterday, and I told parents I need 10 parents to work, and I want us to put on a great event at Olive Street, but I am talking to the mayor. He's like, hey, don't forget we have a pavilion here. I said I'll have to see which one works best, but I think an open field would be great so that we can see and we can celebrate. There will be, I promise you, there are competitions. So the board, somebody here has got to cook ribs. I don't know, not me. I'm representing central office, and I already know I'm gonna kill it. I'm just telling you now. But we're gonna need somebody from the board to be in the challenge. I need somebody from the REA. I'll let you decide who in the REA. Okay, what's that?
I said, we got this.
Easy money.
We
Okay.
got this.
No, I know. I don't cook. I don't buy mine, girl. Well, you can do. Listen, the whole purpose is it's going to be fun. We have a DJ already and photo booth, so it's going to be a celebration. It's a celebration. Welcome back to all of us. So that's what it's going to be. Okay, so have fun. Let's get those parents. I challenge my central administrators to each get one parent for me or one taxpayer. So if you all know someone, you can be a volunteer. You don't have to be a parent. You can be a volunteer, a taxpayer, whatever you'd like to be. It doesn't matter, but it won't work if we don't get those numbers, those 10. So cross that out. Now, marketing and branding. I'm so excited to have Michael Ellison here. Again, my dear friend who has done tremendous, tremendous work on branding. I know you've seen everything. You see everything that's new. It's not me, it's him. And, you know, we collaborate. He certainly lets me, you know, he's the brainchild there, okay? As I told him before, I'm responsible for the ends. I get out of the way with the means. This is what I want. I wanted us to rebrand, and I brought one of the best in that we could possibly get for the price that he gave us was ridiculously low, considering his talents. As I said before, I watched the NBA finals or semifinals, and Mike Ellison did the DraftKings voice. I don't know if you know that, but I know his voice anywhere. So that's what we're getting here. That's the standard here. So I'm going to introduce Michael Ellison again, who is going to share with us. This is something new. The board, I have not seen this either, so I'm excited. We have 2 commercials here that are going to highlight our STEAM and SLI. And then the next thing in this summer is, I believe we're going to be working on some Romulus Community Schools commercials as well. So, Michael Ellison. And that's the end of my report. I keep going back to when I first came in, Dr. Edmondson had me meet and talk to a lot of people. And, by the way, you're saying, where did Jordan go? Is he back there? Oh, you have the remote for the volume on the television as well? Okay. So while he's doing that, I'll just share this. One of the early people that I met was with Sarah Carter. Congratulations on having a harmonious process there. And what she said, we need a community, we need to cultivate, it was all alliteration, which was on the spot. I thought it was like poetically perfect. We need to cultivate a community-wide culture of collaboration. And that's what she said. And that's what I've done with your help. Dr. Edmondson saying this to me, it's not. I have a really strong team, and a lot of the ideas are coming organically out of you. Jessica Reyes, I understand why you're telling her to slow down. Selfishly, I don't want her to because she delivers. What you're going to see could not have been possible without her. When you're doing a production, there are a lot of moving parts. And so she essentially acted as like an assistant executive producer. Dr. Gardner also took the reins on a big part of that. And we had our studio shoot, all the people who participated. So everything we've done has been a collaboration. Just a couple of quick caveats. The spots, I'm going to show you 2. They're very similar, but there's variations, and the plan is to run them concurrently through various social media. We'll be having a conversation with you about how to get this out there. These spots are specifically about the 2 new 6th grade programs. That's the intent. And the intent is that we're losing a lot of people from 5th to 6th grade. And Dr. Edmondson, again, he said, we're going to do it, you have to do it right or nothing at all. We don't have a brochure because we needed to develop the assets to have a proper brochure, which is forthcoming. He felt it was important enough to have a commercial to convey these ideas about what these models are. So that's what you're going to see. Very quickly, I know you gave a recap maybe a few weeks ago. For those of you who weren't here, one of the things that I learned from talking to all of you all, a lot of people who stood up here in years past have been overpaid to underdeliver. This is not to put stuff in my cap, but really with your district, because you guys have helped me, empowered me, and I've worked with a lot of supportive creatives to do the following. In the time that you all brought me on, we have a new logo that you all seem to love. Along with that new logo, we have a crest and a motto. Along with that, we have a tagline, tomorrow starts today. Along with that, you've seen the billboard campaign. Along with that, coaches came together and looked over 25, 30, 40, 50 designs, highlighted 8 that they liked because our sports and activities had inconsistent marketing. Dr. Edmondson wanted to fix that. We narrowed it down to 8. We gave every sport and activity a template. So you take 8 by 20 plus programs. We have over 208 designs that we have delivered to you all. They're all on brand. They're all available to everybody in the district who has a club, and they can use that. In
in addition to that, working with Dr. Gardner to innovate on Kindergarten Roundup and Kindergarten Festival Week, which had tangible, measurable results, which is what we're gonna be judged by. So, I'm not saying that to say, look at me, but really look at us. Because this is what you guys are doing and pushing me. And that includes phone calls and texts and emails over the weekend and holidays. Jesse, Dr. Evanson, Dr. Gardner. But that's what it takes. So, anyway, with all of that, I'm just gonna try to cue it up here, because once I put it up there, it's hard to see. So there's 2 spots. This is not your traditional commercial where you see on television. This is a 90-second spot, so it's kind of like a brief infomercial. And the last thing I'll say while I'm queuing this up, the stars of it, like Paul Niedermeyer and Dr. Evanson, will not be signing autographs after this. If they offer, refuse, they're not famous yet.
You can vouch that I have not seen this girl.
Yes, Dr. Evanson refused to see it.
Dr. Gardner.
Dr. Gardner didn't want to see it. The board members have not seen it. Some other folks have not seen it. I'll wait for this to line up. And can I see how much volume I have on there? Okay, well, if it gets low, then he'll fix it. And here we go.
There's renewed energy and commitment surging throughout this district. And we have 2 new exciting offerings for 6th grade students. The STEAM Academy, that's science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. And the Service Learning Institute, compelling coursework, community service, and professional experience.
Work in the community to help improve other people's lives, to look outside of themselves, and bring that in with the technology that they're learning, the science that they're learning, and the math they're learning.
Helping students understand this is what it can be for you. This is what it's gonna be for you. This is where you are, and this is where you can go.
This is project-based learning in a school within a school. Safe, creative spaces.
The students, the teachers and staff, the community,
We're coming together as one voice. New leadership, new vision.
new goals, new successes, so that our students benefit from all of our experiences, strengths, and resources that each of us might bring individually.
When we work together, we win together.
Starts today.
So, the logos that you see for the Service Learning Institute and the STEAM Academy are working logos, and we'll talk about that. I'm gonna show you a variation number 2, and there's some similarities, and then you'll notice some distinction. And again, both of these will be in rotation, and then down the road, again, I'll talk with our new technical director. We'll probably wanna trim and do some 30s here and there. But here's variation number 2.
There's renewed energy and commitment surging throughout this district. And we have 2 new exciting offerings for 6th grade students.
Romulus Community Schools is a destination district. We want to make sure that we have the best programs, the best teachers, the best staff. We want to provide enriched learning to all 6th graders.
The STEAM Academy, that's science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. And the Service Learning Institute, compelling coursework, community service, and professional experience.
These new 6th grade programs reflect the new leadership, new vision, new standards, and new heights for our future Eagles to soar.
I have 33 years in education, in biology and AP biology.
Our experience in education, especially as an administrator, is to keep your child safe. The students are eager for these new programs and excited about the new opportunities. And if the students and the parents and the school district, everyone here in the community comes together and unites, then there's nothing that won't be possible here for our students.
the meeting at some point on the YouTube channel, if we can cut that part out, because we don't want it. I already did. Oh, okay, awesome. You're already ahead of that. And then as I mentioned, the logos, it's a work in progress, but we'll be able to tweak it. I think I think Dr. Edmondson and everybody who was in the spot deserves a round of applause. Because it was a long day. Your board president was like, okay, but we had a long day, and it was a long process. It takes a lot to get these assets together. One of the things that's really important is that the beauty is already happening in the district. It's just that you have to have the effort and the expertise and the people to come in and capture it. And so I just want to thank you all for giving us the opportunity to do that. And with that in mind, I'm going to be coming back to Jesse and some other folks, Ms. McCarthy, because over the summer, I need to do an all sports, all coach shoot over the course of 2 to 3, maybe 4 days. So I'm going to need some help as a point person to help organize that, because then we want to get ahead of the curve now. There's some spots that we want to get out before August and September roll around. And I think that's it. I don't know if you all have feedback, questions, or comments. Okay. So yes, if you all have questions or comments. So I'll turn to the people first. I get it. My apologies.
Board members, do we have any questions or comments? I just want to say thank you for all your hard work. And like he said, to really see this in action, to know what it takes to put a commercial together, it's long, it's tedious, but it was fun. It really was. You know, my ride left, but had to find another ride. But it was very enlightening to see the process of putting together a commercial and what it takes to bring all those pieces together, and to see this, it's truly happy. Thank you.
I know what I'm going to also share with you all again, Dr. Edmondson's point, everything right. In the commercial world, we have what we call meter drop music. That means you go online and just like pick music for a certain amount of money. And if you pick a certain style of music, the likelihood that it pops up in another ad, it may not be high, but it's possible. I didn't want to go and pick meter drop music and then it winds up in a commercial that's not in line with your desire. And again, it's not a feather in my cap, what my team and with Ms. Grace and her students listen to music, but that music that you have, that's why you listen to music. I can't say who composed it because they give me a favor, but that is a professionally produced, composed, original piece of music. That is yours in perpetuity. That means forever. We've already had discussions about symphony and band doing the interpretation of that music.
Awesome.
I do have a question. How do you plan to get that out? What does that look like?
Okay, so the short part of it, and I know our technical director is probably ahead of me in a few steps, but part of our working meeting that I wanted to have with you and some of your brain trust tomorrow is basically a combination of social media platforms and then targeted text, email to existing families. But again, being cost conscious, we're not talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy television. That would be a waste of the district's money, because you're hitting all of Southeast Michigan. You don't need that. So what we're talking about is not tens of thousands of dollars. Depends on how high you want to go with it. But let's say, for example, with a spend of 10 or less, you can do targeted ads on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google Ad Bots as well. You can target the exact specific people you want. The second director probably know how to come from the landing page, where you can measure all the Google Analytics, click-throughs, to know who's watching it. There's also a way that I understand you all have your parental. You have emails from those who are current, and then Dr. Gardner, I always want to say Dr. J, helped us identify another 400 or 500 who are inactive. So there's some very specific people we can send it to, and then we're going to get through social media ad buys, and then also make it available to as many of you as possible that you can share directly with your parents, with your colleagues, and friends.
Thank you. So then the next thing for me is, how can you launch this with our staff and our parents. They're most important before it goes out to everybody else. I'd like them to come actually tomorrow, and I'm like, here, and they hit bing, and then
Well, it's possible, well, and I don't know when
Mr.
Adam
Dennison.
starts, but I don't know if it's possible for him to either join you and I or a part two. Maybe I can meet you somewhere so we can hit the ground running and talk about what that looks like. I don't know if that's allowed. I mean, for pressure, whatever.
That's Mr. Brock. That's Mr. Brock there.
But the.
To explain it, right.
The point is, the only step is to potentially refine the two logos that you see in there. And once we settle upon that, we can hit the ground running. I would say by the end of the week, only because my primary editor needs a couple of much-earned days off. So then by the end of the week, definitely by next week, it'll be done with the logos that you all have selected and we vetted and we feel good about. I know you want it in everybody's hands now.
Tomorrow starts today.
Yes, it is. And the only reason, I want to say, the only reason we can't, we shouldn't, is because I think we have light consensus on the STEAM Academy logo. Mr. Niedermeyer loves it, but I would like Michael White's input on the service learning, and I also have some feedback from some folks here about the Service Learning Institute and how that looks. So that's what I want to share with you tomorrow. But we're working overtime to be able to hit the ground running with these spots. And then shortly thereafter to have physical and digital brochures that you all can hand out to people.
All right, thank you. It's a, who would have thought this 32 years ago? And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I thought you looked very presidential up there. Not that we want you going from superintendent to the highest office in the country. But I thought you
enough bullets. That's sick.
All right, but thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ellison. Our next agenda item is the report of the Director of Special Services, Dr. Patrick Meese. We have an action item. If someone wants to read that action item, please.
Move that the Board of Education appoint Patrice Barden, parent to represent Romulus Community Schools, Teresa's Parent Advisory Committee. The rationale is appointment of parent representative to Teresa's Parent Advisory Committee. The budget implications are none, and the exhibits are Dr. Meese will present.
Support.
You got it.
We have a motion by Laster, supported by Davis. Discussion. Dr. Meese, if you'd like to give us some information.
Sure, just
on
a
this,
couple of
please.
comments. Good evening, Board. One of the requirements under the Michigan Administrative Rules for Special Education is that each school district appoints a parent who has a child with an IEP to the ISD or RESA's Parent Advisory Committee. And presently, we do not have somebody filling that role. We are very fortunate that Patrice Barden has stated that she is willing and excited to represent the Romulus Community School District at Wayne Resa to serve as the representative for the Parent Advisory Committee. The Parent Advisory Committee meets on a monthly basis, and parents of students with disabilities learn about services that are available to them and to their student. They learn about resources that they can benefit from, agency support that may help them that may help them through adulthood. It's a time for parents of students with disabilities to network with one another and to learn more about supports that are available to them. I just want to let you know that Patrice Barden will, I believe, represent our district extremely well. She is a licensed master of social work. She actually, looking at her background, she could probably run this committee at the county level. She will represent us quite well. And I'm grateful to her for stepping up and her willingness to serve in this capacity. The next step after receiving approval from you, she will need to be approved by the Wayne Resa Board of Education, and then it'll become official. Are there any questions?
Madam President.
Sure.
I have a question. So for this appointment, is it term-based, or is this, how long would the person be serving in this capacity?
That's a great question. I do not have an answer for you, but I do not believe that it is a short-term appointment. I've worked in other school districts where people have represented the district for several years. I can
So I
find
guess
out.
as long as the person is willing to
I
serve.
believe as long as the
So it's
person
not-
is willing, that they can continue to represent the district, but I can find out for you.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you, board.
Next on the agenda is the report of the business manager, Ms. Sarah Khan. We have an action item. If someone would like to read that action item, please.
Madam President, recommended motion, move that the Board of Education approve attached 2023 millage tax request form to levy tax rates July 1, 2023 to December 1st of 2023. The rationale is filing of the form, which is a L 4029, and it is mandatory. The budget implications is tax levies set in preparation of the budget. In the board packet, there are exhibits.
Is there support?
Support.
Have a motion by Kennard, supported by Laster. Ms. Khan, would you like to elaborate for this?
Evening, board members. So I'm just going to be going over our 2024 levy tax. It's going to be still the 18 mills. So it's for the non-home operating is 16.4675 mills. And for the operating is 1.5325, which is a reduction from last year. So there's going to be a savings to our residents that are claiming homestead. Our debt service is still at 8.25, and then the sinking fund is at 3 mils. That means that last year, for file year 2023, we have collected $25,260,157.25, which will be, booked in our account, and that's what we received, unless there was some adjustments, but we are journaled at 99% that we have received it. Okay, the next year that we're going for, the file year 24, we will have levied revenue at $25,924,123.72, which means that we will have an increase of the local revenues at $663,966.47.
Thank you.
At 100% rate, that's what we're expecting, a little bit increase, but the residents are getting a discount, so it's good news for the residents.
Thank you. Any question?
Discount or reduction? You said residents are getting a discount. It's a reduction, right?
Residents are getting a reduction. Yes.
Is there any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is the report of the Manager of Operations and Facilities and Maintenance, Mr. Bill Garland.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Edmondson, cue the music. No, we own that music now. I want it on all my presentations. Before we go on to this, that literally gave me goosebumps. It was so inspiring. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, team that worked on it. It was beautiful. What we have here, I'd like to invite our highly touted music instructor, Jessica Race, up. We want to share a very, I wish I could say effervescent, but it's not going to be after what we just saw, a very exciting FYI about our auditorium renovation. So I'm going to turn it over to Jessica for a minute so she can go through the slide presentation, which is pretty exciting.
All right, thanks, Bill. Thanks, everyone, for having me here. So Bill and I have had the pleasure of working with, let's see, I'm bad with products and names. It looks like AVI SPL. They're through our consortium, and they came out and looked through our auditorium, looked at all of our lighting and our sound equipment, and which if you visited our auditorium recently, you'll notice we have about a third of our lights that currently work, and our speakers kind of go in and out, and our microphones go in and out. So we had looked last year at allocating potentially some ESSER funds to remodeling the auditorium, and this is what the company has helped Bill and I come up with that may be a potential upgrade for our auditorium. Now, one of the things Bill and I talked about, oh, I was like, did he leave me? No, he's behind me. One of the things Bill and I talked about is that the auditorium, when we renovate it, it's going to be something that we're going to want to last for 30 or 40 years. So the last time this auditorium was renovated was before I started in the Romulus Community School District, and I started here in 1995. So that tells you how long it's been since anything's been done with our auditorium. Honestly, I think it's probably been like that since it was built.
There was a minor upgrade in '93, which included seating, some carpeting, and at that time, a sound system.
All right, so if I could get to the first slide, we'll talk a little bit about each of the things that we're hoping to accomplish. So currently we have traditional lighting. We're looking to upgrade everything to LED lighting. These LED lighting The LED lighting will be customizable. So through a wall-mounted relay panel with 12 different circuits, there'll be 10 preset controls that allow us to customize this lighting. When we get our theater program up and running, this will be something that'll really accentuate the ability to have plays and things again. That's something we lost. And even if we were to have it back right now, we don't have the ability to really have the facility to feature those kinds of things. So this will allow that to return. In addition, a 1,000 LED follow spotlight. That spotlight we have now gets so warm up there, I'm afraid to turn it on because I think it's gonna light the whole room on fire upstairs. So an LED spotlight that will keep things nice and cool. Audio and visual, these are the things that I'm really excited about for obvious reasons. So replacing the mixer board that's upstairs in the booth with a top-of-the-line Allen and Heath mixer. This is gonna give us sound quality to rival any other auditorium in the area. Also replacing both of the speakers at the front of the room and adding a subwoofer at the middle of the front of the room, which is going to upgrade our sound quality in that room, giving us live streaming capacity for things like Martin Luther King Day and the State of the City address. We could live stream those things with this capability and technology. New microphones, 4 new wireless microphones, 2 lapel microphones, and replacing the overhead microphones with this cool ceiling array microphone. What it does is it actually builds a sound wall that won't pick up the audience, but it will pick up the people on stage. So if there is a city function like MLK Day and there's a bunch of kids on stage and they're speaking one at a time, we don't have to pass the microphone. This technology, if it works how we're hoping, will pick up each one of those kids as they speak. It will pick up people as they are in a performance in a play without them having to wear lapel microphones. So there will be 2 lapel microphones if needed, but we're hoping that that ceiling array microphone will serve most of those purposes. An intercom system between the booth and on stage. We had one of those a very long time ago, I'd say 16 years ago maybe. It stopped working my junior year in high school, and so hoping to replace that. And then the ability to control that both in the booth and on the stage. Monitors for choir concerts, that's something we've never had. So the students, when they're singing, they can't hear the music coming back at them. So if you ever got to attend a choir concert when I was hosting choir concerts, you'd know that sometimes the sound would get off from what the students were singing because they couldn't hear themselves. And then finally, 3 new projectors. Our projector screen at the high school and the auditorium has been broken for several years, so we've been projecting on a white cloth that really doesn't have great quality and is difficult for people to see. So this is for the main projector screen and then the 2 auditorium wings. Acoustical, and I actually have a sample of the acoustical panels. Right now, the room is completely brick, so that does 2 things. Number 1, it makes it really difficult to hear speakers because the sound is echoing off the walls when someone is speaking. So if you're in there for a program that lasts for a long time, you hear lots of different feedback coming from the speakers. It's hard to make out the words that they're saying. It's unclear. So this is installing sound panels, which will, number one, make that speech a lot clearer coming through those speakers, cut back from the reverb back and forth across the room. And then number two, obviously help with performances that are taking place in there. So Craig, who is our customer service rep at the company, did mail this to me, and we had some students test it by yelling into it yesterday and today, or Friday and today rather, and it seems that it's effective and does its job. It's a little bit off color here. I emailed Craig and he said that is not our Pantone color, but the intention is to match those acoustical panels to our maroon Pantone color, so it will accentuate the auditorium. And then finally, looking at upgrading the acoustical shell that would go on stage for the band. The one that we have right now, if you were at graduation, we have 3 pieces of it that work and 2 pieces of it that kind of go whoop and flop over and don't correctly come up. So that is the mock-up that AVI gave us of what they would like the auditorium to look like. Obviously, we're hoping for some additional improvements that they didn't put in this picture. They included the sound panels for us and our logo, so you can see kind of what we were hoping the top of the room would then look like. This also doesn't show the new lighting. It just shows our overhead lighting. All right, and so we also talked about some basic cosmetic and structural things to accentuate all of this other technology that we're hoping goes into the auditorium, including looking for the best way to renovate the stage floor. I believe Bill said that he thinks structurally it's fine. It's just a matter of figuring out the best way to make the finish look more professional again. Replacing the worn curtains that have holes in them, updating paint on the walls as needed, and then updating the electrical and structural things to support the enhancements as needed.
Any questions, board?
I only had one question, but Dr. Edmondson just informed me that he will be providing us with copies. Because I was writing.
A copy of the presentation.
Oh, yes, and what we would like to do over the next week, we're going to send you all the upgrade documents, all the information with all the pricing. We're going to flesh out our funding avenues for the different pricings because it'll have to be broken up into different things. And we're really excited about this. I mean, this is, again, something that is sorely needed for our district. And I can just see Mike Ellison having you film commercials here as well. So
So what are you estimating the cost?
we want to surprise you.
You want to surprise us?
Yes.
We want to come back to you in 2 weeks.
Yes, in 2 weeks.
Okay.
But we want to get you the documents early so you can look them over.
Thank you.
And any questions that can be asked before that board meeting.
Okay.
You know, why are you choosing this? You know, those type of things.
Okay,
And then
thank you.
my question is what's the turnaround time for them to have this done?
If we get board approval at the next meeting, they have confirmed to us that there are no latency supply issues or lead time issues, so we could have it ready for the back to school event right before Dr. Edmondson's pig roast.
Okay.
It's not my pig roast. Just, you said that
The
earlier.
district,
I'm like, that's not
the
my-
district pig roast.
It's not.
So-
No.
No, not the pig
See,
roast.
right. That's
right.
golf outing as
So-
the pig roast.
Yes.
So this is something that doesn't have to go out for bid?
No, it's been done through the consortium. It's
Okay, through the
already the lowest
consortium.
government pricing
Okay.
available.
Okay.
And surprisingly, in comparison to some other districts, it is remarkably cheaper than other districts,
All right, thank you.
from what we've seen.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
When we worked on the, I heard Jessica say ESSER. When we worked on the ESSER budget, I don't know, 2 months ago with Mark Graham, we did put that in there, right?
Correct. This was approved
I know.
in the first round. Yeah, the first round. But this is part of, a large portion of this was approved already through ESSER 3. But
No,
there will be-
I remember that was the plan, but
Yes.
I didn't get to see that. It's
And it's
just-
2 years past. And I promise you, this is sorely needed. We're at the end of life.
You don't have to say that.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, board.
Thank you.
That's not fine.
Next on the agenda are the report of board subcommittees. Are there any reports to be given? We have the report of the board president. I'd like to say thank you to everyone for coming out. See, Prom Toast was a hit. Prom Toast went off without a glitch. It was very nice. All our students looked good. Graduation, I was not here. I was down for the birth of my grandchild, so unfortunately I missed graduation, but I heard everything went off without a hitch, and just congratulations to our 2023 graduates and our staff for putting everything together. Ms. Tammy Garrison for her hard work, especially with the Prom Toast. You know, we can't thank you enough for all your work, Ms. Garrison. To welcome our new employees. It's great meeting you tonight. Looking forward to working with you and getting our district moving forward. Let's see. It's a lot of information given out tonight, and it's real early. I want to thank Mr. Ellison again for that presentation, for all the hard work that you're putting in with our staff, being able to come together and collaborate. Truly appreciative to get our district moving forward. We have a reminder, we do have a board meeting, special meeting on Wednesday at 5:30. So if you're able to come out, it will be here at 5:30. Other than that, like I said, thank you to everyone. Dr. E, for your bringing everything together to move our district forward. These past few months, you have gone over and above, and the work is truly being noticed around the community, truly being noticed. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Do we have any comments, Mr. Davis? The boss man.
Thank you. Well, I really enjoyed graduation this year, lots of handshaking. But congratulations again to the class of 2023, both for the high school and RVLC and adult education. I was able to attend both ceremonies. Mr. Ellison, thank you for those commercials. Those were really exciting. I'm really excited to see that pop up on my phone eventually. I wanted to give a really special shout out to Miss Race, because whenever I have a break from school, she's always allowed me to come into her classroom and shadow her and just get to learn more about being a music educator. And not only that, in the past, month and a half that I've been with you, you've worn so many hats, you need a hat rack. You've been working on this rebranding and commercial stuff, this auditorium stuff, marching band, regular band, summer program. I still don't know how you do it, but I appreciate you. And thank you for letting me come into your classroom and observe. And one more thank you to my favorite employee, Dr. Edmondson. Ever since you've come back to us in February, you've moved this district at such lightning speed. And I'm all here for it. I support you, and I'm ready to take this district forward. Thank you.
Ms. Kennard,
Nothing.
Ms. Laster.
I just want to piggyback off that great speech that Darcel just gave. Yes, thank you to everyone. I want to thank Dr. Gardner. The kindergarten festival was amazing. I was only able to make it to Barth, but I heard rave reviews of the other schools. And just to hear it up here and then to see it in fruition, like all the hard work that you guys put into it. And we were able to meet with some families that where you hear the middle school is a problem, you're hearing from the parents, but then you're hearing parents that are excited about the direction of our middle school. And we were just able to have a whole kumbaya session as board members, parents of students that are at the middle school right now. And they're happy with the direction. Mr. White, this commercial, everything that's going on now is just coming together. And like Darcel said, thank you, Dr. Edmondson, for coming back and just, putting the pedal to the metal and bringing greatness Mr. Ellison, thank you, because you're painting the picture of what we're trying to convey and just putting it out there. So all the partnerships are working together. So thank you.
Vice President McCarthy. What? I think she had to talk at graduation, so she's tired. Dr. Edmondson. All right, make a motion to go into closed session, or something like for purposes of attorney-client privileges in Section 8H of the Open Meetings Act.
Support.
Motion by Wester, supported by Davis. All in favor?
Aye.
7:25.